Real quick, let's talk some Lions news and just some of the stuff that's going on. So, Malik Willis came in for a visit today, and I guess Kenny Pickett's coming in tomorrow. Now, the way that the Lions are kind of setting this thing up, making it seem like that they're interested in a quarterback at 2. Like, what do you think about that, Ryan?
I mean, this is just part of the draft.
Just part of the draft.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not.
You bring people
move on
in.
to the next topic.
Yeah. No.
Like
I mean,
due diligence.
let's not overcomplicate this. If they like these guys and they're still available at pick 32, bring them in, talk to them, pick their brain. You know, like we don't know if they're going to be available in the second round, first round. They have so many picks so early on. Yes.
Can I ask a question a second? Since you two, I think you know a lot about it too, but you're obviously more Packers. But like, there are mock draft people who are names who have. Like, you know, whatever they're on, ESPN or whatever. Maybe not ESPN, but they're saying the Lions will take a quarterback at 2. There's no way,
know.
right?
They don't know.
No, they don't. But
I
like,
hope they're paying the experts to say that.
Okay, yeah.
And just keep giving them the money and
There's
saying,
no way, right?
Keep making that.
No.
Keep making that a narrative because that's how you trade out of it. Right?
Also, when the media kind of blew up Dan Campbell's explanation about not needing a quarterback, that was completely taken out of context. That drove me crazy because it was specifically talking about a mobile running type of quarterback like you see in the NFL nowadays. It said, well, no, you don't need an elite running quarterback to win in this league. And then everybody said, oh, Campbell was talking about not needing an elite quarterback in the league to win. No, he was specifically talking about running quarterbacks.
That is the media in a nutshell.
Drove me crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
taken out of context.
I like that. I like that they're doing it. I like that they're doing their due diligence. I like that they're trying to create maybe a market to trade up, maybe a market to trade up to number 1 type stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Just mix things up. And I don't. All right, that's where I get really mad though if they take a quarterback at 2.
They also talked to Nakobe Dean. Does that mean he's going at 2?
Yeah.
Or do you think that maybe that just says they're interested in that kind of an athlete?
Yep, they take them all at 2.
Right? Like, why wouldn't you cover your bases here? That's all they're doing.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
If they didn't meet with him, then people would know that they wouldn't need to trade up to number 2 because Kenny Pickett would be there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah.
With my limited knowledge, of course, as well. But what if somebody falls to 32? Or sorry, where's their net? Like,
yeah, 32 would be their
somebody
next pick,
randomly
and 34.
falls that like is on this list,
then
and you're like,
better have
bingo.
talked to the quarterback
yeah.
that you just drafted. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Would it? How angry would you be if they take one of these quarterbacks?
I would be pretty angry.
At 2.
At
you're
2?
saying.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Oh, I would be pretty angry. Yeah.
I would too.
Yep. I don't think any of them are worth it. So that's where I'm at. Now, if they 100% believe it, then I'm like, well, hey, we're moving on from Jared Goff. Like I could get excited about that by the time the season starts. But I don't.
I heard Kenny Pickett has tiny hands.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Tiny hands, double jointed thumb.
Yeah.
Wears a glove. Like, I'm sorry.
He wears 2 gloves.
You're a weirdo.
He wears a glove on each hand.
Remember when he like fake slid
Oh,
and then kept running?
And he's like,
that was actually dope.
He's kind of like he's kind of like Grayson Allen, you know, tripping people, you know. Like I don't know, I don't want that guy.
Larkin.
I don't want that guy.
He's
a lot like Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, a winner.
Big Dylan Larkin fan.
Just
Dylan Larkin fan.
A winner, and
he's a winner.
Makes winning
leader,
plays.
Natural born leader.
Better question.
Loves to celebrate.
How late can we get a beer from the bar? Right? They close at 10?
Yeah, I mean you can try.
I'm going.
All right,
Can we get what?
Try.
so that the camera doesn't change. Go to the wide shot before. You got to go to the wide shot. At least we have that going for us, right?
Where's he going?
Yay, we just
grab a beer.
Yep.
Hey, John, you want to see if they want? Or you're not gonna leave. Get them one too.
I'm not leaving.
Wow.
What's that?
Anyway,
This is great radio.
yeah. What else are we doing? Whatever you get. I'll just do that.
Just remember your grade of that beer.
All right, I got it.
So is there a name on here that you're like, do not draft outside of the quarterbacks? Do not draft, like, is off your draft list. Let's just start with that number 2. Do not draft at 2.
Whatever you're drinking.
Yeah. Is there somebody that you don't like, Micah?
I mean, I would assume that half this list is a do not draft at 2. Are you kidding me?
Well, I think it's got to
yeah.
be doable though. Like what people have been talking about. What about Kyle Hamilton?
We're gonna get
I would do
into
it.
safeties.
I mean,
soon, but
if you have a safety need, why not do it?
I would say absolutely not. No, we should not draft a safety. He is on my do not draft list if we're talking at number 2. If they trade down and they want to go get a safety and then somebody else in the mid-teens or something,
you were even
great.
against taking a safety at the end of the first round.
Yeah, I don't want even a safety back then
No.
or back there. Yeah, I would rather take it in the second round. If you want to take a second pick of the second round, yeah, sure. Lewis Stein is there and you believe in this guy. Like, yeah, I'll take him.
Do you think he's a prolific safety?
I think he might be a little overrated.
Really?
Kyle Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
doesn't have the speed that everybody's talking about. Like, what's
He's
his name?
got the
What's his
speed.
name? No, what's his name from playing with the Cardinals right now? Was drafted linebacker.
Buda Baker.
No, the other one, Isaiah, out of Clemson. Everybody's talking about him. Even the jeez, this is terrible too.
Terrible. John looked at
The kind of radio that I produce sometimes where I'm
Isaiah
like,
Simmons?
what's the guy's name? Yes, thank you. Isaiah Simmons.
Well, he was a linebacker, wasn't he?
He's a linebacker and he's faster than Kyle Hamilton.
Okay.
Like I don't see the game changing, NFL changing type of talent that Kyle Hamilton maybe represents. The other thing I see is safeties are like the third least paid position in the NFL. So why are you going to pay somebody a high draft
you're gonna have,
slot?
Yeah, you're gonna have to overpay for him.
You're paying for the draft slot, not for the player.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yep.
So why overpay for a safety near like the top of the payment? For that safeties actually get for a guy that you know nothing about. So he could still bust. No, don't overpay for a safety or 2.
I've changed a little bit of my feelings on Kyle Hamilton. We'll get into that as we talk real quick about the that kind of the rankings and stuff. But I did want to talk about the quick odds.
What about Thibodeau? What do you think about Thibodeau?
I'm starting to think Thibodeau if Hutchinson's not there, maybe even if he is. I like Thibodeau better than any of the other edge guys, maybe even more than Hutchinson personally.
In everything that I'm hearing is that Thibodeau is going to be falling.
I don't like.
He's falling, and there's a reason for it. And I've heard scouts talk about when they jump into the film. It's not anything special. He was riding on his name for a long time, and I am starting to kind of
Agree
trust
with
them
that.
and agree with them. And I'm looking back and I'm like, oh, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, like he doesn't respond to double team very well. He doesn't like. The game plan is to run at him all the time. I don't know. I don't. I'm starting to think that we would be better off with Aiden Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker.
Wow, Trayvon Walker's the one that I'm just like, do not draft that guy. I don't know why.
No, why'd you say you don't? Oh, because he was low and now all of a sudden he's high.
Because he just jumped from 45th ranked overall to top 2 potentially. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Is this yours or mine? That's mine.
Yeah. Well, he's a phenomenal athlete, and
Thank you.
the type of
You want a
defense
bottle
that they
for that?
run
I'm good.
is not conducive to him going around the edge. He was expected to lock up the tackle and then go make a play, and that's exactly what he always did. So the argument is Jermaine Johnson is probably the 3rd or 4th rated edge in most people's boards. He didn't even play at Georgia. he had to transfer to Florida State.
Yeah.
Right, so he's also losing out to a guy like Trayvon Walker, and then we see in a different kind of scheme what kind of numbers he can produce, but he still wasn't good enough to play over Trayvon Walker.
So real quick, I want to talk about the first overall odds. The first pick overall odds, you got Aiden Hutchinson leading the way at -220. Then you got Trayvon Walker at +140. Ikem Ekwonu.
Ikem.
What?
Ikem.
Ikem Ekwonu. I'll learn it
Before
if
the
I have
podcast, I told him, or I said, we should figure out how to say that name.
to. And
Nobody
what did I
wanted to
say?
listen to me.
No.
What did I
You
say,
said
though?
IOU. Or
I
something.
said
You said it's an
I will-
IOU.
I said I will learn it when
No,
I
you
need
said
to.
that. And you said that's
IO.
a car, Lamborghini.
You.
Gonna want to hang on to that one.
Yeah, I will learn it if and when I need to.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't have to. Actually, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind either.
Anyways, you got Evan Neal at +1,400, Thibodeau at +2,500, Malik Willis at +3,000. Aiden Hutchinson seems to be leading the way here, but then you look at the second pick overall odds. You got Hutchinson at +170, Walker +275, Thibodeau +275 as well. So that's 3 guys that they're saying edge. If in any of these 3 guys, which obviously 2 of the 3 will be there, the odds are that the Lions will select them. Look, Vegas, I don't know how they do it. They seem to be pretty dialed in with this kind of stuff. And
Seemed to know their way around it.
Yeah. So is edge the right position?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Especially in
Yes.
this class.
For me, it's edge or offensive line. And I know offensive line will be like, another offensive lineman? Like, come on, guys. Like, a lot of people will be pretty angry about that.
Wide receiver just passed offensive tackle for the largest average salary for like the top 20 players or
So, like,
whatever.
when you get that franchise tag stuff going on.
I think it's number 2, isn't it? I think it's quarterback, wide receiver. Or it could be quarterback, edge, wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long ago. Running backs were the important player on the team,
Yeah,
and
that's
we're watching that just disappear.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are running 2 running back systems, and they got these guys that are multifaceted. So yeah, I think it's a huge wide receiver class too. So I don't know. I'm leaning edge, probably wide receiver as well.
I'm also curious if
I'm all quarterback.
the wide receiver. Oh, jeez. If the wide receiving position is going to turn into the next running back position, because you're seeing a lot of the top guys being moved, demanding more money, and people will just be like, "Good, get out of here. We don't need to overpay for a wide receiver." Now, as soon as that starts happening, you're not overpaying for a wide receiver, then you're not overdrafting for a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff starts happening, and I'm curious if that's going to happen because all of these running backs, these talented football players that used to be running backs and getting crazy amount of money, high draft picks, all that stuff, they decided, well, they're becoming a dime a dozen. I'm going to become a wide receiver instead. Now these athletes are becoming wide receivers. Now the same thing could happen to them because
They're going to follow the money.
yeah, but wide receivers, I don't know. I just see that position becoming a dime a dozen type stuff.
Yeah.
More than-
Well, it could. But then the response to that will be cornerbacks are going to be valued so highly, then they're going to start getting paid, and they're going to follow that money trail.
Yeah.
So it's just part of the ebb and flow of the league at this point. But it's very offensive oriented.
Yeah.
The rules help wide receivers. So, yeah.
Well, it all started when Jimmy Graham didn't want to be classified as a tight end anymore. He wanted wide receiver money because he was getting more catches and more yards than most tight ends in his heyday in New Orleans.
Yep. And where
That-
he like lined up on the
Yeah,
field and
that's
stuff
just
like that.
the start of the trend.
Yeah.
Speaking of wide receivers and multifaceted wide receivers, Deebo Samuel not happy in San Francisco. Detroit's got some draft picks.
I don't
I
want
would
to.
love that.
I don't want to trade for anybody.
I would love to get Deebo Samuel.
He's so young, though.
Everybody's talking about using our trade or our assets to turn into like one specific player that you're gonna have to overpay for. That's not where we're at in this rebuild. Period. End of story. We are at a point that we need to collect talent and then bring in the true blue.
Yeah, I agree, except if you're mimicking your team around the 49ers and how they do it with run first and everything else,
Right.
not an elite quarterback, and then have this dynamic playmaker that can run the ball and catch anything, and is just a beast, I'll
He's
take it.
kind of a
agree.
generational guy.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Uh,
He's a game changer.
Every wide receiver is a flash in the pan, and you need to find that through the draft, not through overspending for a 28 to 30-year-old and then it fall off and you're still overpaying. for them,
Every wide
in
receiver?
my opinion, not every, but
Oh.
the majority of them.
Calvin was
That's
pretty
the
good.
word you used.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, but then he retired at 31 before
Well,
he
yeah.
fell off.
Thanks a lot, Lions.
That wasn't Lions' fault.
He was hurt.
It was his
man.
hands.
Yeah,
I think they
CBD.
had something to do with it.
yeah, Lions had something to do with it. If he was winning Super Bowls, he would have been playing.